Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're exploring a concept from ancient knowledge. It's one that often gets overlooked but seems, well, pretty impactful according to our sources. It's called Dagda Rashi.
Mm.
We've gathered quite a bit of material, articles, notes, research to really try and unpack this because, we talk a lot about the big astrological players, the planets, the signs everyone knows. But these sources suggest there are these other sort of hidden layers like Tithi, your specific lunar birthday. They're actually incredibly valuable.
That's absolutely right. Dagda Rashi, it literally means burned or useless zodiac signs. And what's really fascinating, like you said, is it's not random. These specific signs become burned based entirely on the Tithi someone was born on. And yeah, our sources really argue they carry significant weight, almost like a hidden diagnostic key. It seems they can point to some really deep-seated life challenges that, might not make sense otherwise, even if you've had a full chart reading.
Okay, let's get into this, Dan. I'm definitely curious. How can something so specific, just one lunar day, have such a big effect on a whole zodiac sign? And then, ripple out into someone's life? How are these burn signs actually determined? What do the sources say?
It's quite systematic, actually. There are 16 Tithys lunar days, and for most of them, there's a specific list of zodiac signs that get this Dagda quality. Maybe we can walk through a few examples just to get a feel for it.
Yep, good idea.
Okay, so if you were born on the very first Tithi, that's called Padyami, for that day, the Dagda Rashis are Libra and Capricorn. Those two signs are burned.
Libra and Capricorn for the first day. Got it.
Right. Then jump ahead, say, to the fifth Tithi, Panchami. Then it's Gemini and Virgo that become Dagda.
Okay, Gemini and Virgo. Different set.
Exactly. And then, interestingly, for both the ninth and the 10th Tithys, that's Navami and Dashami, the burn signs are Leo and Scorpio.
Leo and Scorpio for both 9 and 10.
Yeah. And this pattern continues for most of the days, but, and this is really important, there are exceptions. The 15th Tithi, that's Purnima, the full moon, and the 16th, Amavasya, the new moon. On those 2 days, no Dagda Rashis at all. They're exempt.
Wow. Okay, so the peak moon phases, full and new, they don't burn any signs. Well, that's interesting. You might almost expect the opposite, right? More power, maybe more burning?
You might think so, but it seems their completeness or perhaps their inherent neutrality bypasses this specific effect. The sources don't really elaborate on the why, just state the rule.
Okay.
But let's talk implications. So say one of these burn signs lands in your birth chart. What actually happens? Well, the primary impact, according to the sources, is pretty clear. When a Dagda Rashi falls into any bhava or house, those segments representing different life areas, it generally reduces the positive outcomes associated with that house. Or, in many cases, it can actively give bad results for that area of life.
Right, so it weakens the house or makes it actively problematic.
Pretty much. But then, just when you think you've got it, there's this really critical exception. If that Dagda Rashi happens to land in the 6th, 8th, or 12th house.
Okay, the traditionally difficult houses, right?
Yeah.
Dostanos.
Exactly. If it falls there, the negative results are actually canceled out, nullified.
No kidding. So a burn sign in an already tough house sort of neutralizes the problem.
It seems so. It's like the negative quality of the house cancels the negative quality of the Dagda Rashi. A double negative, maybe? It's a fascinating twist.
That really adds a layer of complexity, doesn't it? It's not just this sign is bad. You have to see where it falls. Okay, so that's the sign itself and the house. What about planets? What if a planet is actually sitting in one of these Dagda Rashis? Does that, amplify the issue or maybe change it somehow?
Yes, the planets. There are specific rules for that, too, and they depend on the planet's nature, benefic or malefic, and its apparent motion, retrograde, or direct. So for the good guy planets, the benefics, or Shubhgraha, if they're retrograde, moving backwards, in a Dagda Rashi, surprisingly, they give good results.
Good results from a benefic retrograde in a burn sign.
Correct. But if that same benefic planet is direct, moving forward as usual in the Dagda Rashi, then it gives bad results.
Okay, that's definitely counterintuitive. Why?
That is. And then for the bad guy planets, the malefics or Papgraha, it's the exact opposite. If a malefic is direct in a Dagda Rashi, it gives good results. But if it's retrograde, then it gives bad results.
So malefic direct is good, malefic retrograde is bad, benefic direct is bad, benefic retrograde is good. All within a Dagda Rashi.
You got it. It really flips the script on how we might normally interpret those conditions. And one more clarification from the sources. The presence of Rahu, Ketu, the moon, or the sun. They don't change the Dagda Rashi's effect. The burned quality remains the same regardless of whether these specific bodies are there.
Right, so Moon, Sun, Rahu, Ketu are neutral in this specific context. They don't override the Dagda effect.
Yeah.
This is intricate. It really shows you can't just look at one factor in isolation. Do the sources. Give an example to see how this all fits together in a real chart.
They do, thankfully. And it's a really clear illustration of how these rules can play out. So the example is someone born on the 10th Tithi, Dashmi. We mentioned earlier, that means their Dagda Rashis are Leo and Scorpio.
Leo and Scorpio, okay.
This person's ascendant, their rising sign, was Aquarius. So let's place those Dagda Rashis in the houses. Leo, their first Dagda Rashi, falls in their 7th house. Remember, Aquarius rising means Leo is the 7th. The 7th house deals with partnerships, marriage, relationships.
Right. A key house.
Definitely. And in this person's chart, the moon was also in Leo, in that 7th house. Now remember the rule. The moon doesn't change the Dagda effect. So Dagda Rashi in the 7th, the source says this led to negative results concerning the 7th house matters. And apparently the individual confirmed experiencing significant issues in relationships.
Wow. Okay, so that matches a theory. What about the second Dagda Rashi, Scorpio?
Right. Scorpio. For an Aquarius ascendant, Scorpio falls in the 10th house. That's career, public image, status.
Another really important house.
Exactly. And in this chart, Saturn, considered a malefic planet, was in Scorpio, and Saturn was retrograde.
Okay, so malefic planet, retrograde, in a Dagda Rashi in the 10th house. Let me check the rule. Malefic retrograde in Dagda gives bad results.
Perfect. That's the rule. And according to the source, this configuration led to negative outcomes for the 10th house career struggles, issues with status. These problems were apparently especially felt during specific planetary cycles, the dasha antardasha involving Saturn or the 10th house. The source also mentions health could be impacted during these times too.
And did the person confirm this part as well?
Yes. The source explicitly states the individual reported that these two areas, the 7th house related to Leo and the 10th house related to Scorpio, were sources of great suffering throughout their life.
That's quite profound. Hearing it laid out like that with the rules and then the real-life experience matching up, it really underscores the potential impact of this Dagda Rashi concept. Like you said, a hidden diagnostic key. It explains persistent struggles in areas that might otherwise seem baffling. So thinking about this example and everything we've discussed, what does this all mean for you listening right now? What's the key takeaway?
I think the biggest thing is realizing that there might be these less obvious factors influencing your life experiences. Understanding nuances like Dagda Rashi could offer you a different lens, a new way to maybe understand persistent challenges or patterns you've noticed. It encourages you to think, well, how might these subtle cosmic alignments tied to something as specific as your birthday be shaping your path? It's really about looking deeper than the standard interpretation sometimes.
Yeah, it really broadens the perspective. This deep dive has absolutely shown that even these seemingly obscure details, like Dagda Rashi, they aren't just astrological trivia. They can offer genuinely surprising, sometimes profound insights. Insights into life's patterns, its challenges. It's a reminder, really, of the depth of these ancient systems. There's so much there if we look closely. And it can act as a powerful tool, maybe, for understanding why certain areas feel consistently difficult.
And it definitely raises a bigger question, doesn't it? If specific lunar days can effectively burn or weaken certain zodiacal energies in our personal blueprint, what other subtle, maybe overlooked details might be shaping our experiences, shaping them in ways we haven't even begun to consider yet?
That's a great point to ponder. So for you listening, if you happen to know your birth Tithi, maybe reflect on that. Think about the corresponding Dagda Rashis we talked about, and consider perhaps what areas of your own life have felt consistently challenging, maybe even burned in the way this deep dive suggests. What connections might you start to uncover?